Here's something I never thought I would say in public. I am in love with plastic. It started on a beautiful island abroad, the way many epic romances start. There were white, sandy beaches and coconuts, and the ocean was so turquoise, I felt like I was in a 2005 Windows screensaver. So yeah, I was feeling seriously at one with nature. And so when I walked into my hotel room and saw 4 plastic bottles of water on the minibar, I was immediately annoyed. I can't say I've always been the most conscious consumer, but I can say for sure that I've always thought bottled water is particularly bad for the environment. But I went on guiltily drinking from these bottles for a couple of days, although I did make up for it by praying a lot. Forgive me, Greta, for I have sinned. Until one day, I happened to glance at the bottle label, and what I see in that moment blows my mind and sends me on a journey I never could have imagined. The bottle label reads, "I am made from plants. When you're done, throw me in the compost or simply plant me, and I will biodegrade and return to the earth where I came from." I fell in love instantly. And so over the next year, I went from not knowing a thing about plastic to being totally obsessed with biodegradable plastic and going on a mission to change the future of the bottled water industry. I also became that really fun person at parties who sees you drinking from a plastic cup and makes a beeline to you to go, "Oh my gosh, is that a plastic cup?" It's so funny, it really reminds me of all the microplastic in my brain. I won't make you sit through another depressing talk about how seagulls and turtles are dying from swallowing plastic. But it's true. Okay, I will make you sit through another one of those talks. Plastic is choking the earth, and it is horrifying. What I will add is why this is deeply personal for me. About 2 years ago, I started experiencing a lot of health problems. My stomach was constantly sore, my mood was unstable, and I often had rashes breaking out on my skin. And after months and months of testing to understand why all of these different systems were out of whack, I learned that I have a gene that means that my body is only able to remove toxins like microplastics at 10% the rate of the average person. This means that plastic is literally building up inside my body, and it is making me sick. And so suddenly I felt like this plastic issue wasn't just about seagulls and turtles. I felt like it was affecting me. Microplastics are these tiny fragments of plastic that wear off the products we use. They're made from petroleum and they last in our environment for thousands of years, which means that if an ancient Egyptian had drunk from a plastic cup for just a couple of minutes 5,000 years ago, their trash would literally still be in our environment today. Every day I am learning more about what these microplastics are doing to me and to us. I just read a study that showed that on average, we are ingesting about a credit card's worth of microplastics every week. As a result, plastic is now found in our blood, our lungs, our guts, and frighteningly, last year a study showed that 0.5% of our brains are now made from plastic, an amount about equivalent to a plastic spoon. I don't know about you, but I do not want to be eating a credit card every week, or to have a plastic spoon stuck in my brain. This is not the good kind of neuroplasticity. But where is all this plastic coming from, and how is it getting inside our bodies? Let me walk you through what it looks like. Bottled water is our single largest known source of microplastic ingestion. The bottles shed plastic into the water they contain, which we then drink. And so plastic enters our bodies and circulates throughout our bloodstreams. Now, say a breastfeeding mother has drunk from this water. She will then unknowingly pass the plastic in her body to her child through her milk, and even before the baby is born, through blood in the placenta. This means that that baby is born with plastic in her body and will eventually be burdened with a much higher level than her mother. Is that the future you want for your kids? Okay, so by now you're getting it. Microplastics are gross and they're everywhere. But why should you really care? The reason is that they are incredibly bad for our health. They are linked to cancer, infertility, and even dementia. That plastic spoon in your brain, it could cause you to forget the names of the people you love. Microplastics are the asbestos of our time. And so when I saw that beautiful plant-based and biodegradable plastic bottle for the first time, it changed everything. It meant that maybe I would not have to accept that the plastic building up inside my organs would destroy my health and damage the health of my children before they are even born. And so I decided to leverage my professional background building consumer products brands to start a plant-based bottled water company. Welcome to the future. You are looking at a plastic bottle that is 100% made from plants, which cuts greenhouse gas emissions by 75% versus a regular bottle, and which biodegrades entirely in the compost in less than 90 days. Of course, not every bottle will end up in the compost, but even then they will break down, and it won't take thousands of years. They are also dramatically better for our health because any microplastics from them will break down naturally in the body. In fact, this kind of plastic is already safely used in dissolving medical sutures. The impact of transitioning to bottles like this across the beverage industry would be massive. We are throwing away 2.5 million plastic bottles in the US every hour. And 26% of global plastic pollution comes from just 4 beverage companies. But what if I told you that the reason you are seeing this incredible bottle for the first time is not because it is new, but rather because 20 years ago, when companies started making these bottles in the US, plastic and recycling industries banded together to threaten these companies' supply chains and shut them down. They knew that these bottles would be better for our health and for the environment, but because it wasn't going to be better for them, they took it away from us. And we never even got a vote. The plastics industry has invested tens of millions of dollars perpetuating the myth that recycling can solve the plastics pollution crisis. And state governments are actually now suing plastic companies for perpetuating that narrative and misleading consumers. Because the cold, hard truth is that just 5% of plastic in the US actually gets recycled. So, why would it be different for the biodegradable bottle this time? A lot has changed in the last 20 years. Bioplastics are now used in a range of products, and we have more composting infrastructure. But the biggest difference is that we, consumers, are starting to realize what a scary predicament we are in with plastics. And so we have the most important role to play here. I am on a mission to replace 1 billion plastic bottles with biodegradable alternatives in the next 10 years. But I need your help to do it. And so if you are moved by the idea that there is plastic in your body right now that you did not ask for and that the plastic industry decided that for you, my ask for you is this. Next time you're in your local cafe and you're grabbing a bottle of water, ask them if it's biodegradable. And if it's not, tell them that it should be. Every plastic bottle that we replace with a biodegradable alternative is a vote. It is a vote against the plastic industry dictating what products we use and what ends up in our bodies. And it is a vote to say we will not have a solution ripped away from us again. But most importantly, it is a vote for a future where our bodies are free of plastic and our children are healthy. And so next time you buy a plastic bottle of water, the power is literally in your hands. The question now, what will you do?